Hello, friends. Thank you so much for joining me today. So, I have something special for you today, and I am going to be making this adorable card featuring iridescent treat bags. Now, normally you'd probably use these for treats, which is what they're called, right? But last year I attended an event and Brandy Cox showed us this cool thing to do with them. So it's, she took a heat gun and she heated the whole sheet, the whole bag, and then it got this cool crinkly effect. So it kind of reminded me of, what are they called? Shrinky dinks. Remember those shrinky dinks that you'd put in the oven and they'd like get all small and crinkly and stuff? So that's what it reminded me of. And I think she also said to try to emboss it. I did not try to emboss it, but I thought I'm going to do that now. I did already emboss this one with the heat tool, but I want to try to emboss it now with the dry embossing with our cut and emboss machine. So let me put some things aside here. Okay, so basically what you want to do is you can use the whole sheet as is. I found that it's less wasteful to just use half the sheet. So I'm just going to cut this down, and I'm just going to go along the inside of the bag. So we're just going to cut right along that little seam there. Now you could use your paper trimmer, but I want this to be a certain size, so that's why I'm doing it this way. And remember, it does shrink when you heat set it with your heat tool. And I'm assuming it's probably going to crinkle up and shrink to some degree also with the cut and emboss machine when we use our embossing folder. And then I'm just going to cut it in half this way because that makes that so much easier. I'm going to just put it in my trimmer and I can see where I can cut that, and we're going to just slice that down just like so. So now, instead of one piece, I have 2 pieces. And of course, I didn't cut that straight, but that's okay. We're going to leave this one for another day. Or if we mess up on this card, we've got the 2. So, as I said, I'm just going to leave it this way. But let me get my cut and emboss machine. And let's get our plate. I am actually using Cone Flower Celebrations, the stamp, and the dies, and these are on the last chance list. So if you want them, they are on sale. Don't get the bundle though, get them separately because I believe it is cheaper that way. And I'm also using the Lazy Daisy 3D embossing folder. So let me pull that out and we're going to try this now. Okay, see what it looks like. If I don't like it, then I'll use the one that I heat embossed. But why not try it? Right, so I'm just going to put this in here. And it is a little long, but that's okay because, like I said, I'm going to be cutting it down to size. So we're going to run that through. And let's hope for the best. Ooh, I forgot to offset my plates so I wouldn't hear that big bang. All right, let's move some things out of the way. And let's see what we got. Ooh, look how pretty that looks. Oh my goodness. Here, let me put it on something so you can see that. That is absolutely gorgeous. Isn't it? Look at that. Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so I'm going to do that then. So I like that. So let me put that aside. Let me put this away. And let's get our trimmer. So I'm going to cut this down to measure 5 inches by 3 3/4 inches. So 5 inches. So, and then 3 3/4. So let's see, 3 3/4. Now because I cut this crooked, it is crooked. So 3 3/4 is there. It's just a little sliver off. So let's see, did that work? Yes, it did. Perfect. Beautiful. Now, that worked, so we love that. And I really don't know which side I want to put it on, but oh my goodness, that is so pretty. I'm so happy with that. And I would hate to throw this out. I might use this for another card. All right, so let's start by putting this together. Actually, let me start with the inside since I already got part of that done. And yes, it's Halloween paper. How cute is that? But I like the design on this one, so I thought that was cute for this. So nobody will ever know that it's Halloween paper. And I don't think it's even available. So, but I did not have any DSP that was in Pretty in Pink. So I don't know how that happened, but I must have either used it all or, yeah, I guess that's what I'm gonna say. I used it all because I didn't have any. Okay, so that's that. Pretty in Pink is gonna go on the front, and I guess it doesn't matter, right? Oh, before we do that, let's not, see, I knew I was gonna forget to do that. Okay, let me get a piece of scrap paper and my Pierce mat. And I'm going to stamp these dots all around to give it a nice border. And it's just a subtle border, but you could see how I did that on this one as well. All right, so let's do that. I just got this new light set up in here, and you have to let me know. What do you think about it? I mean, I think it looks great. It's like, I don't get the overhead shadows, because it's these arms that kind of extend out, so it just gives light to the area that I need it to give it light to. So anyway, I hope it looks okay. I mean, to me it looks fine, but maybe when it transfers to the video it might not look fine. So if it doesn't, I hope you let me know. All right, so I'm just going around with this. This around to frame the treat bag, which is no longer a treat bag. Okay, so that is that. We're done with the Pretty in Pink. I'll close that up. Let me open this up and put that on here so I don't accidentally drop it on anything, which I say that because I did on this card. I went to pick up the pink and it was like I must have dropped it in the ink pad, but who knows. All right, so that's that. I think I can put this aside, and let's glue this down. Now I don't know if you can put liquid glue on the plastic. It's going to be really slippery, so I don't know if I would try that. What I did was I actually used glue dots to adhere it, and I'll show you what I mean, what I did, because you do want to put the glue dots behind your layer. So this layer is going on top like so. So I want to make sure that my glue dots don't go past a certain point. So I'm going to flip this over, and yes, I'm just going to add these. And like I said, I'm keeping the white piece underneath so that I know where I need to put the glue dots. And because I embossed this, I want to go a little bit heavier on the glue dots, so this might be a little annoying, so I am going to fast forward through this. So I will be right back. So I have a good amount of the glue dots on here, right? So again, I'm going to fast forward through this part because you don't need to watch me taking them off. So this was the piece that, so I took off all the backings on the glue dots. This is the piece that I was saying, I'm not sure if adding liquid glue would work. You're more than welcome to try it. I did not. I thought the glue dots would be fine. So here we go. All right, so I'm just gonna look for equal spacing, equal-ish. So we're just gonna do that. And then we'll press it down like so. Okay. I can put that, let's see, keep that out. I'm going to take off the backings on this piece. And this is just a layering piece. I'm actually going to put my, the flower, the cone flower on that. So this is going to go right in the center here. Like so. Okay. I think I could close this, yeah. All right, so I got that done. Oops. You know, I did that before too. I don't want to put this down yet because I need to put my sentiment on there. So let me press that down. I don't think I pressed that down enough. Okay, so my sentiment. All right, so for my sentiment, I'm using Happy Belated Birthday. I've already masked off with a piece of Scotch tape the part that I don't want because I'm not going to be belated with my card. At least I really never have, but well, I used to be, but now I'm good about sending cards on time. Okay, so we're just going to ink up birthday. So let me flip this over. Okay. And then we'll stamp this here. I don't feel like I got the B very well. Let's try that again. Okay, I think that's good. Oops, that is upside down now. So we're just going to stamp that right over here about. Okay, then I want to clean that off. And I'm going to move the tape down to hide the birthday and belated. So we're just gonna put there. And again, I'll ink happy and then I'll take off the tape. I see that I got the Y. I didn't have tape on the Y, so that's why I wanted to clean that off. Okay, so we're just going to stamp happy right above birthday, like so. Good. All right, we're done with all the stamping. So nope, I still need this, so I'm not going to close that yet. All right, so what I want to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to wrap it. So I want to cut off a little bit because I don't need that much. All right, so that's scrap. I'm just going to wrap that around like so. I'll add some, what, before they do that, I want to create a flag. So I want to create like a little end here. So I'm just going to come up with my scissors, about it there. And then up from one point to that part that I cut, and then from the other point to the part that I cut. Okay. So now I can add some dimensionals, which are, I thought I had them out. They're right here. Okay, now we could wrap this around. trying to miss this dimensional there. So probably right here would be good. Now we'll just add some tape there. And fold that down like so. Okay, now we could add this to the front. Like so. Perfect. All right, so I don't need that. Let's see, what else do we need? Okay, since I have the ink open, there's my scrap. I am going to take the center of my cone flower. So I've already die cut that, and I die cut it from the Very Vanilla. I tried the basic white, but I didn't like the way it looks, so I did Very Vanilla, and I liked it so much better. So I'm just gonna add a little ink to my blending brush, then I'm gonna take some off, come off the edge, and I'm just going to put some color on this to make it come alive. And as always, you can always add more, so you always want to start out with less, and then you can add more as you go along. But if you add too much in the beginning, and then that's not going to work, because you can't take it off, but you can always add to it, right? So I think that looks good. So now we're finished with the inks. So let's put this away. So, like so. All right, I'm going to add this to my cone flower with some adhesive. Double-sided adhesive. I'm using Mono Air permanent adhesive. I love this because this is not a Stampin' Up product. It's one of the few things that I use that is not from Stampin' Up. The reason I like it so much is because it's effortless. It goes down very easily, and for me, who has some trouble with my hands, I find that's really very helpful. Okay, so I've already added some mini dimensionals to the back of my cone flower. So again, I'm going to fast forward through this part because you don't need to see me pulling all those off. Okay, all the backings are off. Let's put this down. Just going to put it right about here, I think. Oops. Like so. Isn't that pretty? How pretty that looks. And then I'm going to use my rainbow adhesive back dots. These are also on the last chance list. So if you want them, grab them while you can. And we'll go one more. And actually, let's see if I can move this guy. No, I guess I can't. He's staying there. Okay, never mind. We'll go here. So, okay. Well, there you go, friends. What do you think? How fun is that? Using those treat bags to make this beautiful card. So pretty and so easy to make. And look at that. You can do it with the heat tool, or you can use an embossing folder, and they give a beautiful, different look every time. So, hope you give that a try. Please be sure to leave a comment and like and subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed yet. I'd love to have you as one of my subscribers. And if you're interested in the PDF for this particular card, please be sure to sign up for my newsletter, and you will get that PDF on the day after the video goes live, which is tomorrow. So have a great day. Bye-bye.